Hi everyone, it's Tuesday and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, it's very sunny outside. It's a little cool. It's just barely about 41 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's a little chilly. I'm not gonna spend too much time outside. I just wanted to get outside real quick because it's really nice out. It's one of the few remaining nice days we have left. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I hope your week is going well. For those of you that are new here or recently found my channel, I am Gwen. I am an older, mature woman with transgender experience, which I'm going to talk about today. And everyone here is welcome. So, I think before I go any farther, I'm going to go back inside. I'm a little chilly. So, bear with me.
I'm back. So, um, trying to think. Not much really going on, or has been going on over the weekend. It was kind of a quiet weekend. The kids went to comic convention, so on Saturday, so I was kind of here by myself, which was okay. I got some stuff done. Little things around the house. A lot of house cleaning, some cooking, things like that. This week so far, it's been kind of a normal week, work, what have you. Something I was going to talk about, actually, it was a comment that one of my viewers had asked me in the comment section last week, and they asked me to explain because I start all my videos with, introduce myself and say I'm a woman of transgender experience, and they said, "What does that actually mean?" And I gave them a decent answer, a nice answer. Um, but it made me think about it some more. It's like, well, a lot of people really may not know what that means, and so I wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. And a lot of it's an experience that a lot of people have never um, had. It's something unique, and it's not something that, well, I'm not going to say every person would go through. Not definitely not that. It's something that's totally different than everyday life. Um, there's a lot of haters out there that will comment about, well, you just want to play dress up, or you just want to dress like a woman or whatever. Or in the case of a trans man, you want to dress like a man. It's more than that. The entire transition experience is, it's so hard to describe. The amount of time, I mean, just to start off with, you have to spend quite a bit of time going through therapy. You're you have an ongoing relationship with a therapist. You have to be examined by a psychologist or a psychologist. That's even before you can consider starting hormone replacement therapy. So there was months and months of therapy, in my case, months and months of therapy, to get to the point where uh, I was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. And that's the first step. and then you have to go to an endocrinologist and have blood work done. Um, then you have to be examined by a doctor to make sure that you're physically able to do this. Um, and then again, like I said, and then there's the ongoing therapy, and then and for each person, each yes, for each transgender person, doesn't matter whether you're male or female, your journey is your own journey. Everyone's is different. There are some that transition socially, that go by the pronouns he, she, they, them that they prefer to be called by. Maybe they identify with a gender name that identifies with their identity. Um, in a case of, let's say, a transgender man, someone who's assigned female at birth and transitions to a male, maybe they decide that they would rather be called a more masculine name than their birth name. That's in social settings, this is how they introduce themselves. So that's social transition. Then there's the medical transition, which is you're on hormone replacement therapy. For transgender men, it's testosterone. For transgender women, it's estrogen. A lot of times there is other medications. Spirolactolone is one of them. It's originally designed as a blood pressure heart medication. That one of the side effects, surprisingly, is it suppresses testosterone. So a lot of endocrinologists prescribe Spiro is the short name, Spiro, as a T blocker, a testosterone blocker, and along with estrogen. That's part of the medical transition. Side note, it's actually easier to obtain estrogen than it is testosterone because of the doping scandals in the 80s. Testosterone is now a federal in the US class 2, I think it is, drug, which means it's highly regulated. And there's a lot of explanation that goes behind it when a doctor prescribes it. So whereas estrogen, it's not so much. It's doctor prescribes it and you get it and that's it. So that's medical transition, and then there's the surgical transitions. And there's just so many. I mean, there's feminine facial surgery. There's breast augmentation surgery. There is gender confirmation surgery, otherwise known as bottom surgery. There is liposuction. There is, which could apply to anyone, but still, fat transfers will maybe take from around the abdomen and transfer it to the hips or the butt or the buttocks. Those type of surgeries. I mean, there's all kinds, and then even like with facial surgery, you can get into rhinoplasty, where they will reshape your nose, especially if you happen to have a very large nose. Um, there's jaw surgery. If you have a very square jaw, they actually go in through your mouth and they reduce your jawline. There's cheek implants. I mean, there's all kinds of surgeries, gender affirming surgeries. I gotta think of where I was going with this. Anyways, so it's not something that you just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to have all this stuff done." A lot of times, healthcare does not pay for a lot of these surgeries, so a lot of it is out of pocket. Um, and it's again, you don't wake up and say, "Well, I'm going to have all this done." No, it requires a lot of upfront, I call it upfront work before you can even consider any of these surgeries. And it just happened to be over the weekend, and I don't remember where I saw it. It might have been on Facebook, and I can't remember who it was. The person that made this Facebook reel. I should go back and look. I think I saved it. And they made a really, really good analogy, which kind of stuck with me. And it was more of a rebuttal. Somebody had posted, it was transgender hate video, um, specifically directed towards transgender women. Um, and this person's like, "Well, you just want to play dress up, and you know, you'll never be a woman. You don't understand. Blah 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 blah." And the person that posted the reel that I watched actually had a very good analogy. He says, "Okay, look at it this way, and this is really, I would say, more directed for people that don't understand what it's like to be transgender." So he says, "Okay, let's say aliens came down to Earth and they had advanced technology far beyond what we have." And he was addressing this woman, and he says, "What if they took your brain, had the technology to do it, took your brain and put it in my body?" He goes, "You still had the same thoughts, the same feelings, the same desires. Um, in her case," he goes, "I'm assuming you're a heterosexual white female." He says, "So you're going to be attracted to men, and your thoughts are all the same." He goes, "But now, instead of being in your, I'm not going to say normal, your body from birth, in her case cisgender female, your brain is now in a male's body." He goes, "You're in this ugly man's body." He goes, "But your sexual orientation, your feelings, your thoughts are still yours." He goes, "How is that going to make you feel?" He goes, "You're going to feel so mismatched because you're in a body that you don't feel normal in, because you were a female and now you're in a male's body, and you can't feel, I'm not going to say normal, but you don't feel right." And he goes, "This is what transgender people go through." And I thought about it, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're right." And he says, "So in a case of a transgender person, again, it doesn't matter whether male or female, they see themselves in their body from birth, and it's like, this isn't right. This isn't who I am. I'm this other um, gender." So a transgender person, if they can afford to do it, takes the steps to align, maybe that would be the way to put it, align their body to what their insides are. And I thought that was really, really, really profound. Um, so, the whole this whole video kind of tags off of the original comment that I received last week, asking me to explain what I meant with transgender experience. So in my case, it's been everything. The the therapy, the hormones, the surgeries, upending my life, losing friends, um, microaggression from coworkers, looking to be accepted as my, I'm not gonna say preferred, my authentic gender, my authentic self, looking to be accepted as my authentic self in the public sphere, which I am. I definitely acknowledge that. Yeah, like I said, getting acceptance or rejection from family and friends. I mean, it really upends your life. But looking back at it, it's not. I don't regret a single thing. Um, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. Which, why not? You know, why can't I deserve some happiness? You know, I put myself behind everyone else all my life and did for others, and I still do to a certain extent, do for others all my life, and and I never took into account my happiness or my feelings. Excuse me. So I'm really to the point now. Why not? Why can't I do something for myself? Um, so this whole transition, it's an experience. It's not something that you would undergo. You might not, but uh, it's not something an everyday person really thinks about doing. And I'm not gonna say the whole transition, I guess maybe, is it's an experience. It's not something, 10, 15 years ago, if somebody had, I'm not gonna say asked me, but maybe somebody, yeah, if somebody had asked me, what would it be like to transition, I would be freaking clueless. But since having transitioned, this is an experience that will stay with me the rest of my life. I mean, for obvious reasons, because I'm finally my authentic self. But um, it's an experience that I learned a lot. I learned to love myself. I learned to advocate for myself. Um, I chalk it up. It's no different than when I built this house. Not everybody builds their own house from the ground up. Um, I built all this. I wired this house, electrically wired it. I did all the plumbing in the house. I learned all that. That's an experience. 6 months of doing nothing but working on this house. That's an experience. It's not something everybody has or everybody does. And a transgender person transitioning has their own experience. And so this is why when I lead off my videos, I mention that. I mean, I'm not going to hide the fact that I was not born um, or assigned female at birth, though I wish I was. But you know, that's the reality of it. I was not, but I've been given I was given the opportunity to transition to my authentic self, and that is a huge, huge learning experience, and it's been a wonderful experience. I mean, yeah, there's been times it was frustrating and whatever, but overall, it's been really, really wonderful. And like I said, I'm the happiest I've ever been. So um, that's about it. Kind of sorry that this isn't my usual normal happy upbeat type of video. It's more from the heart this week, and I wanted to maybe share a little enlightenment, a little knowledge with everybody of where well, what I've gone through, what I've endured, and it's again, it's not something that everybody is aware of, or could even maybe begin to fathom. But like I said, I answered the comment from last week as best I could, and I figured maybe making this video would be able to share a little bit more of my experience and my knowledge so people can understand that when I start my videos and say that I'm a woman of transgender experience, this is my reasons why. Because like I said, I wasn't born female. I wasn't assigned female at birth. Um, and I've gone through the steps to become my authentic self, and that alone is a heck of experience. But anyways, enough rambling and enough of the doom and gloom. It's not really doom and gloom, but it's more somber. It's a more somber tone that you're used than a lot of you are used to me doing. Um, Coming up this week, nothing tomorrow. Thursday, I have to be in at the university, uh, and then I have electrolysis. Friday, work. Oh, I have my monthly advocacy meeting. It got pushed up a week because of the U.S. Thanksgiving holiday next weekend. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's here already. Um, Saturday, my daughter and I are going to go get her haircuts. I get to see my stylist, who I always enjoy seeing. She's really wonderful. Not too much really planned. I don't have anything planned for Sunday. It's actually supposed to be kind of nice, so maybe I can get outside. My daughter's 2014 car, my mother-in-law is going to be buying, so I need to go through that. I still haven't had a chance to do that. I want to go through, make sure everything's working. Check. I remember if anything that needs to be done, maybe the back brakes, they're disc brakes, not a big deal. I can deal with them. I'll have to check them to see if they're okay. I'll go through the car and make sure it'll pass inspection, state inspection, which not a big deal. Again, I know the tires are good. So, like I said, if I get a chance to do that, maybe I can do that this weekend. There's always trees to cut down. There's not a problem with that. I just got to get my chainsaw and cut them down. But that takes time. They're actually talking. It's supposed to cool down a little bit maybe next week. So if I can get out this weekend, that'd be great. Like I said, it'd just be Sunday. And then we're in the next week, and next week, oh, that's right, with being Thanksgiving, it's going to be a very busy week. Work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No work on next Thursday because it's Thanksgiving, and the day after, the university's closed, so there won't be work there. So if I want to get my hours in for the week, I got to front load them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week. Whew. Then we're through the week already into next week. But anyways, So that's the extent of the rest of my week. That noise you keep hearing, it's my knee rubbing on the bottom side of my desk. Um, so I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. I really do. I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. And I say it every week, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I make these videos every week for all of you. I consider you a part of my extended family. And even though I may not have met any of you face to face, and I may never will, I still consider you part of my extended family. Um, and this is my way of keeping in contact with all of you. So, as always, like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, topics you'd like me to talk about, please, comment section below. I've gotten better. I got all caught up on all my comments. So, um, those of you that watch me regularly know that I do reply to all comments. Sometimes I'm a little lax or a little behind, but I do eventually get to them. So with that, I will sign off for this week. Like I said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as you can see, Dexter is zonked out. So he's all done for the day, or at least till dinner time. Lucky him. He gets to rest. I got work to do. So I will see you all here next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.